Hi, my name is Justin Keane, Director at BetterCo, and I'm hoping that this will be the start of a few sessions that I'll be having with not only team members of BetterCo, but business owners also. Today, first cab off the rank, I have Louisa Bacon, a valuable member of our team. Hi, Lou.
Hi.
So what we're going to talk about today, and it sort of comes from your new role.
Yeah.
And I've heard some feedback around the office coming through that you're changing people's lives, you're changing business owners' lives, and I'm going, what's all this about? So, and it's about this outsourced finance, virtual finance function that you're involved with now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, how did this, I suppose, come about to start with this new role, do you think? And then we'll get into some more questions.
Yeah, sure. So I think I've always been a problem solver. I generally enjoy solving people's problems. And that comes in with the tech space as well. Like, there's so much technology out there and apps and softwares that businesses use. And they generally don't have the time to go figure it out themselves, but they know that they need the tech stack in their business. And just solving the problems, making things more efficient, putting some automation in place. I love data and I love things being automized, the automation behind it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And so how long have you been doing this for so far with BetterCo? Is it a new thing, or has it been bubbling behind the scenes for a while now? Or?
I think when I started with BetterCo back 4 years ago, I started as the office admin and generally just solved BetterCo's problems. So our accounts receivable was just so high, and then we decided, okay, let's get a piece of tech to implement to help with it, and we went with Go Cardless. Put most of our clients on direct debit, and now it's just like every 14th of the month, the money just hits the bank account, and no one has to worry about cash flow because it's just happening in the background, and that's the automation that we've put in place. And just going across and solving BetterCo's problems, but also realizing that BetterCo is not the only one that has that problem. Like, every small business owner out there has the same problem. So whether that is you processing 500 receipts and you're a tradie and you're on the go, like, you're just going to chuck the receipt. Just put a software on your phone, snap it with a photo, and then chuck the receipt, So then your bookkeeper won't be on your case for the receipt. So it's just generally like solving everyday problems with a piece of tech that you put in place, and that makes your life easier. So I've done it a lot for BetterCo, but now also for our other clients as well, and they definitely see the benefit of it instantaneously.
Yeah, cool. So let's break it down a little bit more then.
Yeah.
So can you define the product for the people out there and what you're doing with our customers at the minute?
Yeah, sure. So it's generally bookkeeping. Most people know it as bookkeeping. And we call it, if we take care of your whole back office or your whole financial side of your business, it's virtual financial control or outsourced finance. So that's the three terminologies that people would generally attach to this service. But it is more than bookkeeping. So we do bookkeeping for some of our clients, and we generally see that as doing your day-to-day bank recs in Xero. So as the bank feeds flow through, we will reconcile your bank account and make sure everything's up to date when we need to do your GST return. So that is bookkeeping. But the virtual financial control side of it, or the virtual finance side, is us taking care of your bank recs, your accounts payable, accounts receivable, and your payroll as well. So the whole finance function. So generally people have a managed mailbox or a mailbox where all the supplier bills, the accounts payable and accounts receivable flow through.
Yes.
So we manage that. We enter the bills into Xero. We take care of the accounts receivables by sending your statements to your clients.
Yes.
And making sure everything flows. If we use a different software to get it into Xero, we'll make sure that's up to date, get the bills into Xero. We manage your payments on the 20th of each month, or whatever your payment terms is. So if you generally pay your suppliers on the 20th, we will make sure that the statements are correct, batch the payment for you, upload it into your bank, and you can literally just hit approve, and the payments will go out. And
can I just stop you there?
Yes.
I'm going to take you back a step.
Yes.
Because I think that's going through the nuts and bolts of everything that you do for our clients, which is great. What happens if we bring on a new client that requires some outsourced finance? Right at the start, what do you do with those clients when they're coming in the door?
Definitely. First, it's a discovery session
Yeah.
to understand what they need. So, what is your current process? What are you currently doing for accounts payable, accounts receivable, and your payroll? What software do you use?
Yes.
What do you currently have in place? And what is your technology efficiency like?
So it's a full discovery.
It's a full discovery, yes, definitely. Understanding what you currently do, and then we send a proposal based on the amount of hours we think it will be.
So who do you talk to at that point? Is it the business owner? Is it the office admin person? Is it the internal bookkeeper? Who is it?
Yeah, it will generally be, the discovery session will be with the person doing the doing.
Yeah.
So, and with the business owner as well. So the business owner will generally have a good idea of what is going on, but to give you a good idea of how long it will take us to do it, we'll need a bit more information. So that's usually around like a 30-40 minute discovery. We get all the information, then we'll have a good idea what your process looks like.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then, so from that point onwards, you can sort of have an idea of what the business requires, whether it's across zero processing, accounts receivable, accounts payable, payroll. Are those the key ones, do you think?
Correct, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Cool. And so what are you seeing as the key software that you use when you advise the clients? Do you take the existing, do you take the existing software that they're using, or do you, during your discovery, say, no, there's a better way, and then advise on the software to use?
Definitely. So generally we'll do business as usual for the first 90 days. So if you do come on board, we will not disrupt your whole company. It is daunting, like if
totally.
someone comes in and they tell you, oh, you need this software and this is great, like it's not just you having to work on the software, it's usually generally 20 other people that you need to train on the software as well. So we'll do business as usual for the first 30, 60, 90 days, and then we'll make our recommendations. So there's generally, like, if you don't have a direct debit software in place, we can implement that, but let's just get the process handed over from the current person doing it to BetterCo, and then check in 60 days, be like, cool, we've got the process, let's implement our recommendation if you would like to improve your accounts payable side or your direct debit side, so, and then go from there.
And what's your experience with the clients or customers that you have worked with so far with that implementation piece? Because it is change management and it is scary for our clients to change. So what's your experience been with that process?
Generally really good. Like, I think if you set the expectation at the beginning, it's new, like you handing it over to us. So, but we really welcome feedback. So if it's working for you, great, give us the positive feedback. But if something is not working, give us that feedback as well. You know, like if you're used to doing something a certain way, like, and we document the process that way, we will generally follow the process. But and the first 30 days where you do the handover and BetterCo takes over, there's going to be a bit of hand holding from the current person to BetterCo. But in 60 days, we'll improve from that. And in 90 days, we'll be up and running, you know. So, but it's also just like small pieces of IP that BetterCo might not have, because we generally understand the whole process, but it's, I need a purchase order, like, who do I go to, you know? Is it the internal person? Is it the business owner? Is it the electrician that you're working with? So
yeah, that's good, yeah. And as far as that full process from discovery through to finding out what the client needs and then the implementation, do you document that process through the whole way?
Yeah, definitely. So in our discovery session, we have our fixed set of questions that we ask, and that gets documented in our CRM. And then once we go from there and we know what the overall process looks like, then we deep dive into the how do you actually do it, you know, what's the software, where do you go, you click on this button, then this button. So then we document that in our software as well, so you have that IP and none of the IP is lost. We generally enjoy doing these sessions virtually, so we can record the session, and if we are handing over from someone that might be exiting the business, then that IP is not lost. So we have
that's pretty powerful, right?
100%. Like, you're so scared someone might leave and they take the knowledge with them, or they might not have explained something to you and you don't know how to do it. So all that IP is recorded and saved, and the client generally has access to all of their IP.
Yeah, you know? I'm sure there's a lot of business owners that they just don't know what's going on, right?
Definitely.
So to have that documented and in a place where they can access it for the
100%.
future is massive.
Generally, you have business owners that maybe had a office manager or a project management or ops manager that is handing over the process to BetterCo, and that person might have been in your business for 10 years. Like, imagine how many IP you build up over 10 years.
It's just such a big risk, right? Yeah.
And they just do it because they don't need a process manual to do their jobs if you've been doing it for 10 years. But if that person leaves, you have that risk of that IP leaving as well. So
Totally,
yeah.
And at that point then, do the customers that you've worked with, do they have the option to either take on that work internally, or the team at BetterCo can help with delivering those services as well?
Correct,
Okay.
yeah. So we generally like to do it for 90 days, document the process, do it. And then if you do want to take it back in-house, you're more than welcome. You have the documented process, you have the videos, the training. So you have all the IP. BetterCo can give it to you and document it for you, and you can take it back in-house. Yeah. But generally business owners find it better just to not stress about it. So like, you've got this, just carry on. And the business owner then doesn't have to worry about staff turnaround again. Yes. Like, if BetterCo has it up and running and the process is working, it's not the client's problem anymore. So yeah, that's helpful.
Okay. So can you maybe talk through some real life examples that you've been through? Not going to name any clients' names, of course, but can you maybe just give us a couple of examples of how this has worked for you in the last little while?
Definitely. So we had a client, and they're also not based in Auckland. So we handed over from an employee that was exiting the company within 30 days. So we had literally 2 weeks to get the process from this person.
Oh, wow.
We had and it's their full outsourced finance function. We had about 3 sessions with this lady. Virtually everything was recorded. Them explaining us, walking us through the process step by step. And we went away, documented the process, and now it's a full-time person that you're replacing basically in your company. And the client was just of the opinion that they don't want to replace the person. They wanted to bring in more efficiency and automation in their business as well. So they were more than happy to explore it with BetterCo. So we take in this client on, we do about 40 hours of them a month, and everything is documented. There's probably like a 40-page manual for them, and it just runs in the background, and they're really happy. And we're doing other process mapping for them, process improvement for them as well. And we've streamlined it on our side as well. So in the first 60, 90 days, you'd still do a lot of training and learning, but after that, the hours do drop off, and you'd find a more efficient way of doing it. So, And
I suppose for that person that you're sort of replacing, they can probably do something else within the business, that's not part of that process.
For a different client that we recently worked with, the employee was still employed by the company, but they wanted to free her up to use her resource in a different side of the business, that has been working so well for them, because we've taken on the accounts payable, payroll, accounts receivable, all the managed side from the finance side, and she now has all that time back and the resource that they need in the business, instead of having to employ another person and train another person internally, which will take a lot of her time as well, because she now has to train that person, but now BetterCo has all the IP and it's running, and that has enabled her to do more in the company.
Yeah, so as I said at the start, I mean, that is literally changing business owners' lives, right? Which is cool. And the feedback's been...
It's great. Like, they love it, and generally they don't have to stress about it because they know, okay, it's taken care of now. So it is life-changing for them, and it's definitely a cost saving for them. But it frees up their resource to use it in a different part of the company, and that enables them to grow their business. So,
well, it's probably the 3 freedoms that we talk about: time, mind, and financial. That's solving all of those, right?
Yes, definitely.
Amazing.
Definitely.
And so, specific software. Do you want to name a few that you are using that are helping you with this outsourced finance piece?
Definitely. So it depends on which industry the client is in. So obviously we mainly work with Xero. That's our main accounting package. We do conversions from MYOB or other accounting packages to Xero as well. So Xero will be the main one, and then on the accounts receivable side, we are raving fans of Go Cardless and Stripe. So get your clients on direct debit, or give them more options to pay you. You know, like if they have more options to pay you, you're gonna get paid faster. On the accounts payable side, we're really loving HubDoc, that just enters the receipts into Xero. Dext is another one that is also really lovely to use, and the user experience is great.
Hopefully we get some kickbacks from these companies after this.
I hope so. Then on the payroll side, there's so many payroll softwares out there, but we're comfortable with probably like between 5 and 10 different payroll companies. iPayroll being our biggest one, and then there's like a bunch of different other ones that we use as well, that we're comfortable using, and they all integrate with Xero, or we set up the integration for them onto Xero. And then a few of the industry specific softwares that we use, as Simpro is a big one in the construction and trade. And then Sin7 for the hospitality side. Hospitality and retail. And Fergus is another construction and trade one that the tradies like. So yeah, there's heaps.
There's plenty.
There's plenty. Workflow Max also integrates with Xero. But yeah, like
and you and your team building the knowledge in all of those systems is awesome.
Yeah,
really
definitely.
I suppose at this point it might be good to sort of let people know what we don't do in this space, you know, which I think is important. Like you've said what we do, but then you draw the line on what we don't do in this space.
Definitely. So we usually tell clients that when it comes to your clients, we don't get involved. So in the accounts receivable side, that's definitely a major that we don't touch. So we will send your invoice reminders. We can set that up for you. We can send statements for your clients and general reminders, but we won't phone clients, your clients, and ask them for money, because there's a very big customer experience side linked to that. So that's generally something we don't take care of. We won't step on that side of the business. And then any intricacies where there's the overlap from the operational side to the finance side, we don't get involved. So a simple example would be for someone that has Simpro up and running and there's a purchase order missing, but you have 5 or 10 engineers working for you. They would have in the background had to set up the purchase order, send that to the supplier to get the supplies, you know. So if you have 10 engineers, we're not going to phone the engineer that set up the purchase order to find out why the purchase order is not right. So that is taken care of in-house. But when that information is sent to us via the managed mailbox, we enter it into Simpro, you know. So we don't get involved where we have to talk to your operational staff, or we have to talk to your clients, because
or too much pure admin as well. Would
100%.
that be?
Yeah,
that makes sense. And you make that distinction early on in the piece and let the customers know that that's the case.
Definitely. So we do generally help clients. If you have your payroll, like we can provide you with a payroll pack for your employees, but we won't onboard a new employee for you from start to finish. You know, that has also a marketing side, an experience side to it that you have to take care of as a business owner.
And HR as well.
And HR as well, correct, So we do have a few HR softwares that we can recommend, which is good, and processes that you can implement in your business on that side of the business, but don't take care of HR, don't talk to your clients, and we generally won't talk to multiple employees. We'll talk to the main person or the main admin person on their side that we do have comms with, but not the rest of the stuff.
That makes total sense. Look, we've covered quite a lot off on this session. I think it's been great. You know, I think it's the process that you're going through within BetterCo and with our customers is amazing, and you're building your team around that, which is cool. Have we covered everything off, do you think? Is there anything else that that you'd like to add to the outsourced finance? Because I do have one more question, but
I think just for all business owners, like you might think, oh, my business is too complex. You know, I don't think there's a too complex or too simple client that we take care of. Like, reach out, we can do the discovery, and we can give you our opinion. You know,
totally.
Because you might run a $4 or $5 million company, but we can take care of that outsource, or you might run a $500,000 company, but we can take care of that as well. So there's definitely that small, medium, large clients that we do take care of. So
cool.
Until we had the discovery, then we will be able to give you the recommendation.
Makes total sense. Yeah, that's good. So my final question is, and I know you're hot on this, so I'm going to ask it. So are there any other systems or software or anything out there that's that you're really deep diving into these days?
Definitely.
I know there is.
I think AI is the hot topic everybody is on at the moment. And I think if you just look at what Microsoft is doing as a tech company, they're bringing AI into all of their already set products, like into their suite, into Word, into PowerPoint, into Excel. But then you have ChatGPT, like that should just be your best friend, you know, like it's making you faster. I don't think people should be scared of embracing that technology. When we record these videos, we transcribe the video into a Word document. So everything that was said is just documented into a Word document within seconds. Like there's a software, Cockatoo, that you use to transcribe the video, and it gives you within like 5 minutes. It can do like a whole hour, 2-hour session, and gives you the whole Word document of what you discussed. So that's time saved. It is next level, because you don't have to go type up that 2-hour meeting, you know. Fireflies is another one that just syncs with your Office 365. It jumps into all of your online meetings and gives you a summary of what was discussed after the meeting. So you don't need to spend hours doing the minutes, even if though it was just an hour meeting afterwards. You know, it gives you the summary.
I suppose the other thing with that is that, you know, in the past we've all been sort of writing down notes and all of that sort of stuff, so you can actually be engaged with the 100%. Conversation, because you know that it's being recorded and
exactly. The notes and the minutes are being transcribed in the background. And then another big one that we're really enjoying is Notion. So it is a software where you can document processes in, but it also has AI attached to it. So you can document the process and then ask it to please improve my writing, and it will make your writing better. Or can you please put this 10-page transcript into a process document, and it does it within seconds, like split seconds. And it just makes your life easier. And
this sounds like a separate chat, I think.
I know, it is.
It's like, let's do another session on that, I think.
Yeah,
no, that's cool. All right, well, I think we'll call it there. Thank you so much, Lou, for spending the time with me.
It's a pleasure.
And it's great to find out more about what you're doing in this outsourced finance space.
Thanks.
Until next time.